So I decided I'm going to build an enclosure for my bamboo A1 because I want to print with a PETG filament, which requires a little bit more temperature control. So here are a few design ideas I came up with, a couple tools here that are helping me in creating this. And so this video is going to be basically designing this particular one here, the corner piece that is going to join all the pieces together for the enclosure. So let's get into that right now. So I'm working with FreeCad 1.0. I'm going to create a new parametric part, and using the sketch tool and selecting the XZ plane, we're going to draw a rectangle. So pick your rectangle tool and draw a rectangle, and then for dimensions put in 25 by 25 because we want to create a square here. Square can be easily turned into a cube, and cube is perfect because you can create 90-degree angles. So padding this to 25 so that it ends up being a cube. And now what we need to do is we need to draw, we could pad here actually each side, but if we do that, it's just going to extend the rectangle. So rather than padding, we're going to draw each individual side here from scratch. So again, pick your rectangle tool and draw the exact dimensions. Again, 25 by 25, and hit enter. And then you can close that sketch. Next, select another side here. Same thing. Select your sketch tool and draw another rectangle starting from the center, and again make that 25 by 25 and close the close your drawing. And then finally for the third side, select your third side and repeat that process again for drawing a third rectangle. Again, 25 by 25 from the center out. And then once you do that, once you close that, then you can select each individual sketch, and now you can pad each individual sketch to your desired destination. So here I'm doing this 50 millimeters on each of the sides that I drew. And this is not going to be the final product, but I'm experimenting here, and I think this is a very good start here. So as you can see, we have our corner piece, sort of a mock-up SketchUp. The next step would be to, put in holes, right? We need to put in the aluminum bars in there. So we're gonna actually draw a circle here, just like we did with the squares. My distance is 13.5. Now it's important to make sure that this circle is in the center of this particular drawing here. So I'm using the external geometry tool here to mark off external geometry, and then I'm going to select two corners and the center of the circle, and then hit the constraint tool here. And this constraint tool is going to put that in the middle. We're going to hit close, and then we're going to hit the pocket tool. The pocket tool is what creates holes. Now default is 5 millimeters. I'm going to change this to 50 millimeters, which is essentially the entire depth of what I created here, the extrusion, the pad. And now we're going to repeat that same process on the other three arms of the structure here. So again, putting in 13.5, again selecting the external geometry tool to mark off the external geometry, and then we're going to select the corners of the geometry and circle middle, and then constraint, and that's going to constrain that into the middle. And again, same process, pocket tool, again 50 millimeters, and number 2 is done. Now we're going to do this for number 3. Again, sketch tool, select your circle tool, draw circle from the center out, type in your dimensions, and again external geometry tool to select the corners, and again constrain the corners to center the circle in the middle of that arm. And once we centered, we close it, and we can hit that pocket tool and change the dimension to 50 millimeters. and we have our holes. So this figure is pretty much done. We could print it as is, and I printed a copy of that in that actual configuration. But you can make it look a little bit better. So there's a few tools that you can use to, let's say, make these edges look a little smoother, right? Right now these edges are sharp. So we can select these edges, Control and select, and then there is a tool here, a chamfer tool. It's going to cut a slice through those corners, and then we can select whatever number. I chose 7 millimeters here for this particular one, and I'm just going to go around and select again more corners here. Now I selected the side here accidentally, so we need to unclick. We just want to select the corners with this tool. And so again, I'm selecting 3 sides, and again I'm going to hit that same tool, and it's going to come up with an options here. Now this one, when the intersections happen like so, the tool takes a little bit more time here. My computer is a little slow. Maybe it's overworked because there are a couple of things running here, but finally it comes up. And change this to 7 millimeters, hit enter, and it's going to again take a second here, and we should see the sliced edges in just a moment here. Yeah, my computer really is slow. I need an upgrade. Here we go. So we have again, cut a few edges here, chamfered a few edges here. We're gonna do some more, going all the way around, and this one works a little bit faster here. 7 all around, and I just got a few more that I need to do. So I'm spinning this around. I'm fumbling here a little bit because I'm talking and recording and doing everything at the same time, so it takes a little bit of extra effort, but again, 7 millimeters for the chamfer tool, and I think that's all of them. No, I still have a couple more here. 2 more edges, 3 more edges. Let's see how many. 2 more edges at least. So let's get those finalized here. 7 millimeters again, and that part is done. So that looks pretty good. So that could be another variation. Nothing is changing, but I'm going to add some more. I'm going to add what we call fillet tool. So we're going to make these 3 edges where the rods would insert. I'm going to make them a little bit smoother using what we call fillet tool. And fillet tool essentially rounds corners, as you can see. So if I'm adding a little bit more, I added 2 millimeters here, and look at that beautiful smooth corner. So that you could use that tool other places as well. I'm going to turn the wire frame here for a moment just to see what it looks like on the inside, and that looks great. So that is probably going to be close to a final product. I will have to send this to a printer and find out what that's going to look like. So that's going to be probably the next step, is printing it. But before we do that, we need to actually export this file. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to export this as an STL file. STL file is a file that 3D printers recognize. There are other formats, but I use that one. So I'm going to select the body, file, and then well, it looks like my video recording or screen recording software is not supporting menus, but in this case you will see options to export in various files. Just pick STL file, hit export, and you should pick a directory where you can find your file, and that file will be ready for your printing needs. So let's go to the printer. So here's the beginning of the print, first layer here. This is gonna go kind of quick here. It's gonna kind of speed up through the process, but the nice thing about this file and this design is that the printer does not need any support structures, meaning that it can actually print these holes without creating any supports. So that saves you on filament and also speeds up your printing time. So here's the final piece here. Final few seconds here of the finishing touches on the very top layer here for the print. And this is a pretty solid piece. The way it came out is it's strong, it's solid. It probably can hold 100 pounds or more. And we're gonna take a look at it here in a second. Once it comes off the printer, I'm gonna pull it off the hot plate here. And let's see. Yep, it's pretty solid. Now let's take I have a little piece of aluminum rod that's gonna go in there, and it fits. It feels a little loose, so I'm gonna need to tighten up the tolerance here. If you want to see more, follow me. I'm going to be building that pretty soon. So take care, guys.